Good morning, guys. My cats are just trashing my house. I'm feeling very tight. Oh, that's helpful, mate. Yeah, oh, brilliant, yeah. I think you just about completed life, mate. Good morning stretch done. Next on the list is to go and meet Leon. I've left the charger for this camera. Don't show people that. I left the charger for this camera at the gym. So I'm gonna have to go and pick it up. So we'll probably do a workout with Leon when we're there. Maybe even, because we've got loads to do, we'll do another one of the hero workouts. What do you reckon, Ted? To the box. Just before we go and meet Leon, I am making food prep. I'm being accountable because I'm going on a very short diet just to drop a few pounds of body fat because I've been in a calorie surplus for quite a while. But what's really cool, and we're going to talk about this later, is I found an app on my phone which links to my digital scales, which does body fat and stuff like that roughly. I've had it for 3 years. And I saw like where I was 3 years ago, 2016, where I am now, how much muscle I've gained, dips and valleys when I've been injured, different types of training and stuff, and it's really cool. So I want to break that down, and hopefully, well it will help you guys to see what's normal, what to expect. Obviously we're all very different, so I'll talk about that as well, but it will give you a really cool kind of insight on how long it takes to build muscle, what's the difference between fat loss and muscle gain in terms of timescale. But we'll talk about that later. In the meantime, to the box.
All the tunes are out this morning.
Bangers.
How you feeling?
Hashtag Motown.
Hashtag Motown. Here, 10 points, who sings this song?
Don't know.
I'll give you the lead singer, Diana Ross. What, do you know what her band was called?
The Supremes.
Yeah!
Also, you asked how I feel. At this point, if you want to know how I feel, you probably need to insert Mike Tyson right now.
I broke my back.
What do you mean by that? You
My
broke
back is broken.
what? A vertebrae or what portion?
Spinal.
Final.
Okay, first point of call today is to get pain-free. Pain-free?
This helps.
Which means I need a lot of equipment because I got to kind of free off my legs so I can squat without my my nerve catching in my knee, because I don't want to do stuff if it's painful, gotta be honest. Mate, if only Thriller was playing now when you were doing that. Yeah, go on, and clap on the way in, there we go. So I've got another session tonight, and after warming up I've decided I'm not back squatting today. I back squatted Monday, front squatted Tuesday. Yes, they did like 100 cleans at ascending weight, so now I'm gonna snatch. Well, he back squat. Who doesn't love dancing to a little bit of Motown? We need like a little
dancing.
We need a little Groot in here. Considering I front squatted yesterday, among other things, I thought I'd try and hit a new 10 rep max. I didn't have one before. I had 3 sets of 10 on 100 relatively easy. So I did 110 for 10. I've got 130 for 6 previously. So I might try and go up again and see what we can get. My legs are really fatiguing, particularly my lower traps and lower back from front squats yesterday, because I tend to lean forwards a little bit my front squats on the way up and lose it a bit. Another good song. If there was ever a song to snatch to, Leon, this is it. Yeah! Here he is! Oh, my soul's about to cry. Oh, I didn't manage to hit it. I lost it in the last couple of reps. My lower back's pretty taxed from front squats yesterday, but I'm happy to back squat a day after front squats, getting back into that rhythm. It would have been 120 for 10, I got 8. My 130s for 6 in the past, so I know that 120 for 10's in there. So I'm gonna have to settle today for 110 for 10.
I think Leon's
Leon's gonna hit 90 today. Now would be a really good point to say, August the 12th to 14th, I will double check that date, I'm pretty certain it is. Super seminars going down at CrossFit Grenzgang in Berlin. Sonny is taking day 1 Olympic lifting. Zach is taking day 2 on CrossFit. Leon and I are there just to look pretty and kind of film and get involved.
Just lift big stuff.
If you want to get involved, if you're in Berlin or you're over that way or you want to come over that way, there's a link in the description box to take you to that. It's going to be really, really epic. I think I've done 3 of Sonny's seminars and I learn something new every time I go. The guy's genius, and obviously Zach's an absolutely crush of CrossFit stuff. I think he's going to go through some gymnastics or big nastics because Zach's like 101 kilos doing it. And then barbell cycling, loads of stuff. It's going to be awesome.
We need to go now.
Who's we?
Me and you.
Why?
We've got emails to reply to and coffee to drink. It's important business. Oh, there's a booger in there.
Oh, Leon!
Keeps moving around, stressing me out.
Oh, you're filthy.
Hangy.
You make me sick. Hey, Matt.
Hi. I feel like I make random cameo appearances, never actually do any working out, just sitting around the whole time.
Could you just help me with something for 1 minute? Just literally just move the thing onto my leg.
Can you move the thing onto my
Well,
leg?
Leon.
Yes?
You're the one that has having a baby with Carly, vis-a-vis, it's your fault, you've got to do the heavy lifting.
It's my fault, isn't
It's your
it?
fault that I'm all caked and everything's changing.
It's ridiculous.
It's your fault that I'm hormonal.
I feel like you should be doing punting, not hoovering, Scott.
It's been a very enjoyable morning at Spitfire this morning. The music has been pumping. We've had some Motown, we've had some squats. I did 300 double unders for time. It was appalling, like 5 minutes and 19 seconds. And yeah, and now we're going to, as Leon said, we're going to drink coffee and do some emails. I've got a couple of calls later, so let's get busy. I'm home, guys, and this is where I want to talk about the title of this video. I'm not sure what I'm going to call it yet. Probably something like My Body 3 years later. I don't want to call it a transformation thing because I've not gone from 22 stone to 12 stone or anything like that. This isn't really about me. It's about me doing my part to break down that stigma and the expectation that you should go from looking like me to looking like Chris Hemsworth in 12 weeks. That's not real world. And that's not normal, and that's not what your expectation should be. And I want to talk about some other things as we go through about how our weight will ebb and flow, but how we want to try and stay relatively close to what I call our happy point, and I'll explain why. So this all started because I looked at my phone yesterday and I found an app called My Health Mate, and it's linked to my Withing scales, which do your body fat percentage, which is always inaccurate, but it's consistently inaccurate, which means you can still use it as a reference point, as well as your weight, and even things like the amount of oxygen in the air and carbon dioxide, which I'm not sure why that's relevant unless you've had a curry in a particularly windy night, and still I don't know what the point in that would be. But anyway, so what's happened is I've got 3 years worth of readings, and when I saw them I was kind of happy, I was quite shocked. It's like, that's so cool. So I'm going to do this in a timeline from 2016 through to 2018, and I'll quickly say what I was doing at that point in my life. I talk about my injury as well real quickly, and then I want to break down some real points that you can take away. So if we start in 2016, I was working in a gym. I was 169 pounds, which is 77 kilos. That should pop up here. I'm 9% body fat there, although my scales, which are consistently wrong, say I'm 13%. So you can see they come up a little bit high. At this point, I'm doing your generic bodybuilding stuff in the gym, which I never really enjoyed that much. I was doing MMA and jiu-jitsu on top of that, as well as teaching classes. So I was doing a lot of stuff. Hence, building muscle for me was quite hard because it was an insane amount of calories to eat. Then if we go to 2017, I've been doing CrossFit for a few months here. This was probably the best I feel that I ever looked, and is pre-injury. So then this next picture is where I went snowboarding, snapped all the ligaments in my shoulder, and I had 15 weeks from that photo before where I could only do air bike. So I lost some upper body mass, but I knew that I would get that back with muscle memory and when I started training again. Obviously, it's important to note some of these pictures have better lighting than others. The one that I just showed before the injury, I've just finished a chest workout, so I've got a pump on. But there's still a very big difference there, as you can see. So after my injury, I worked back up now to 2018, where I'm 85 kilos, which is what in pounds? 186.5, I've got it written down here, and 15% body fat. So according to my scales, 2% different in body fat. And 5 to 6 kilos of muscle heavier. So 5 to 6 kilos in 3 years, I'm very happy with, because my goal has not always been 100% get as jacked as possible. Could I have built more muscle? If I just did bodybuilding, then I would say yes. But I've been pursuing other things that I enjoy more. I've been learning to snatch, learning to clean. I've got a stronger deadlift, I've got a stronger back squat. Yes, my bench press has gone down. That's one of the things that is not as strong as it used to be. But one thing, I might not have gained as much muscle as I could have done, but have I had as much fun as I could have? Yes. I have had so much fun in the last 3 years, and training the way that I feel fulfills me and makes me happy and I enjoy. And if tomorrow something comes out that I enjoy more than CrossFit, then I will do that, because ultimately I'm about making myself happy. And you will see on the graph that I've got of my tracking my weight, 2017, I didn't really go on the scales once. That was simply because I started CrossFit, my energy expenditure had gone through the roof because I was loving it, doing 2 sessions a day, that I was burning through calories. I didn't need to weigh myself to keep my body fat down or anything like that. It was a case of, can I eat enough? And then when I wanted to really start getting stronger this year, because I knew my legs were so weak, I wanted to consciously make an effort to really increase my weight and my muscle, but I didn't want to just ham on a load of fat. So I went to gain like 0.2 to half a pound a week, and that's how I got up to 85 kilos, staying relatively lean. Not as lean as I was before, but still okay. And hence now I'm doing a couple of pound diet just to bring the body fat back down before I step back on those gains. And the real crux of this, apart from breaking down that barrier of you're meant to go from here to there in X amount of weeks, and if you're very new to training, your progress will be much faster than mine is, because I've been training for 10, 15 years, that's part of it. But one thing you'll notice in my graph, it ebbs and flows. Sometimes my weight goes up because I'm happy, because I'm unhappy, because I'm motivated, because I'm not motivated, because my goal is to gain weight, because my goal is to get lean. It changes. But one thing you will always find is I never stray too far from my happy medium. The place where I feel like I look good and I feel confident. The reason is, I feel that my personal appearance and most people's personal appearance is very closely linked down, Teddy, to your mental state and your happiness, and they affect each other. So if I go way too far and I put on too much fat and I don't look very lean at all, and I feel I just look relatively skinny but kind of almost chunky at the same time, there's no real definition there, then I'm gonna start to impact my mood and I'm not gonna feel so happy. And if I get very lean, but I lose all my strength and I start to lose muscle as well, I'm gonna be unhappy for the opposite reasons. So I always have a duty to myself to be accountable and hold myself never too far away from what makes me happy, hence I'm stepping back a little bit at the moment. And vice versa. Come on, mate, give me some help. I love you, please give me some help. Yes, okay, you just stay there. The other thing is, your mental side works conversely. Times that you're unhappy, you're probably gonna gain more weight or lose a lot of weight. So it's important to work on both our mental and our physical, and we have a job to ourselves to work on both them to keep ourselves at a happy medium, doing what we enjoy and making ourselves feel confident. The cat kind of ruined that for me, but I hope I got my point across. And you can see 5 kilos over 3 years is not crazy amount of weight. I feel like that's relatively realistic, and like I said, I've never been grossly overweight or super underweight. I'm someone who's probably above average in the terms of where I started to where I am now, and that's not the start of my journey. The start of my journey was not having a clue what I was doing 10 to 15 years ago. Like I said in the previous video, don't compare your phase 1 to someone else's phase 10. My goal, really, so the reason I put on that muscle earlier, I think I said, was to get stronger, and as a byproduct I had to eat more food to do that. My goal would be 90 kilos and be 10% body fat, but I know realistically that might be 5 years away, and I'm cool with that. I'm happy to put in the work and do it the way that I feel like I should. Like, I'm so happy that I don't feel insecure like I would have done when I was doing bodybuilding and working in the gym, when I was valuing the size of my body and the value of myself on the way I looked compared to other people who on magazine covers are way more jacked than me. And I think this is this is a thing that leads a lot of young men and girls to do, young men and women to do steroids, and they do it from a point of insecurity. And this is what I really don't like, because you're feeding a negative emotion, and that's what I particularly don't like. I see a lot of young guys in particular, because they want to look like the people on Love Island, or they want to look like the next person, and they're taking steroids because they feel insecure, because they feel like they should look like that person. And that breaks my heart a little bit. And I won't pretend that when I was in my early 20s, there wasn't a part of me that was like, maybe I should do it. Everyone else did it. But I tell you now, I'm so glad I didn't, for so many reasons, but mostly for my personal pride and the way I feel about them, but also obviously the health implications. Losing your hair will speed up if that's the way, if you're predisposed to that, let's say. But I hope this kind of gave you a little bit of an outlook of maybe what to expect. Like I say, you could have got leaner than me, you could have been more muscle than me, but I jumped and shipped from what I really enjoyed and what I wanted to do. But be true to yourself and hold yourself accountable. No matter what your goals are, please hold yourself accountable for both your physical health and your mental, because they're both very closely linked. And if you need any help, as always, Leon and I will help you in any way we can. Whether you want to leave comments and ask questions in the description box, we will get back to you. This or Instagram tends to be our best place. Facebook, we're not always quite so fast to respond on there. Or if you want to get in touch with us, maybe even about coaching, tlmonlinecoaching@gmail.com. There you are. I hope you enjoyed this video and it helped you guys a lot. If you want me to talk about something else, a subject that you have, pop it in the description box and I'll do my best. I'm going to give this little cat some attention, because the poor little man, all he wants is some kisses, and I'm being selfish and talking to you guys. I mean, look at this face. Ooh. Bye guys.